may seem odd to praise a thematically ambitious effort like The Candidate as a triumph of texture, but the film's look and feel are central to its impact. The story charts the trajectory of U.S. Senate candidate Bill McKay, Robert Redford, from idealistic leftist lawyer to platitudinous mouthpiece. He and his opponent, Senator Crocker Jarman, Don Porter, ride a political roller coaster that pitches a forward-looking vision of an inclusive America against supposedly traditional values. In both cases, however, the getting there ends up more important than the destination. The candidates' differences are clear from the beginning, but because the focus is more on McKay's gradual corruption, the film does not elaborate on their alternative political visions. It is assumed we will sympathize with ideals McKay admits are vague and shapeless. While the absence of any consideration of the role of money in the campaign is a glaring omission, McKay's quote-unquote corruption is not a matter of bribery or selling out so much as being overwhelmed by the process of electioneering. The relentless rough-and-tumble environment created by writer Jeremy Larner and director Michael Ritchie exhausts us nearly as much as McKay. At first, he deals with these demands by acting simply and honestly, often at odds with his handlers and advisors. In fact, he agrees to run for Jarman's seat only after campaign manager Marvin Lucas, Peter Boyle, assures him he will lose. McKay nonetheless inevitably gets caught up in the drive to win, without realizing he's becoming a shadow of his former self. In one of the more memorable scenes, for example, he rehearses a speech repeated so many times that it turns into gobbledygook. The few political issues raised by the film tend to date it. For example, McKay's occasional reference to unemployment in pre-digital California seems out of sync with contemporary reality. Jarman's quote-unquote conservatism, on the other hand, feels just as opportunistic as today's variety, but in neither case does ideology become the focus of the action. When, for example, wildfires break out in Southern California and McKay tries to use them to foreground the need for watershed preservation, Jarman steals the show by running with the idea to demonstrate his clout as a veteran politician. Recognizing this kind of cynical maneuvering proves the filmmaker's political sophistication, but it makes it even harder to sympathize with either candidate for their beliefs. In fact, The Candidate may be too sophisticated for its own good. Its carnival-like environment is thoroughly convincing, but the smarts can work against themselves. At one point, McKay's father and former governor, John McKay, Melvin Douglas, tells the victorious Bill enthusiastically that you're a politician. Bill's dazed reaction suggests the film's biggest problem. It artfully trades on our prejudices to distill a vision of a profession that few respect. The film's last line, "What do we do now?" is therefore as much a question for its creators as for the characters.